This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
When local growers put great food on Tennessee tables, that's living green. Tonight on Live Green Tennessee, we check out Blackburn Trumpets in Decatur, Tennessee. Next, we travel to Bells Bend Farms in the farming community northwest of Nashville. And finally, we learn more about the Bells Bend community at Old School Farm. All this and more coming up next on Live Green Tennessee.
Pick Tennessee helps you find local farms and farmers markets, plus offers tips for choosing, using, and storing the fresh foods you buy. The Pick Tennessee mobile app is available now on iTunes and Google Play.
Radon gas is a naturally occurring radioactive gas found in rock and soil and can seep into your home through basements or cellars. It's odorless, invisible, and without taste, and can damage lung tissue and cause the beginning of lung cancer, making it the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States. It's important to understand how you can protect yourself, and the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation can help you learn more about this dangerous gas and make your home a safer place.
Hello, I'm Melinda Kiefer, and I'm proud to bring you stories from across our great state on Live Green Tennessee. Musicians from around the world are calling on a trumpet maker in Decatur, Tennessee to make their next instrument. Clifford Blackburn has spent several decades handcrafting these horns, drawing from his own experience playing the instrument. East Tennessee PBS caught up with him and his staff as they create the world-renowned Blackburn Trumpets.
The process of making a trumpet is very demanding, but it's also very interesting. There's all kinds of skills that are involved. We're everything from a blacksmith to a jeweler. I'm Cliff Blackburn. I'm the owner of Blackburn Trumpets, and we make trumpets for players around the world. We're working on a horn right now for a principal trumpet player in an orchestra in Brazil. It's always exciting to find that, you get an email and somebody from who knows where is interested in getting one of our horns. New Zealand, Australia, Japan, several in China, of course, Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga. It's just, whether it's local or around the world, it's the same process. The process for bell making is hundreds, if not thousands of years old. We've tried to keep some of the traditional ways of making bells alive, and it's slower, it's much more labor intensive than some of the modern techniques that are being used, but we feel like it produces a better product. The hand hammering of the bell, we feel, has a big influence on the way it ends up and the way it plays. Assembling the valve section, that's just something that every manufacturer does, and it's just kind of interesting. Every part of the trumpet, if you change any of it, it makes a difference in the way the horn plays. I always liked music, and I was attracted more actually to symphonic music with some of the loud, big things, the Mahler and some of the Stravinsky pieces and things. Just as a kid, I can remember laying down on the floor in front of the hi-fi and listening to the Rite of Spring and just thinking, this is great, Both of my parents were musicians. My father played violin and my mother played piano. And so I was surrounded by music my entire life. My dad had an old trumpet. And I started playing around on that, and when it came time to sign up for an instrument in the band, I knew I already had a trumpet, and so that's what I signed up for. I started playing trumpet in the 4th grade. I joined the band and found out I had an ability with playing the trumpet. Played in the high school band. We had a lot of fun doing that. had some great band directors, and went on to major in music education at Tennessee Tech, and ended up going to the University of Louisville and getting a master's degree in performance. While I was working on the degree, I took an elective course, a little 1-hour elective in instrument repair. And I found out I was good at it. And the teacher kind of took me under his wing and coached me a little extra. And by the time I finished the degree, I was doing instrument repairs for 5 music stores in the Louisville, Kentucky area. Soon after I got the degree, a job with the Louisville Orchestra, one of the trumpet spots, opened up. And I was lucky enough to win that audition. And the orchestra ended up being my proving ground for the development of our trumpets. We started out as Blackburn's Music Services. We would fix your sousaphone, or we'd repad your piccolo, or we would play trumpet for your wedding. It was an all-inclusive trumpet playing repair business kind of thing. So when we moved here to Tennessee in 1987, we changed the name to Blackburn Trumpets. Name got out there a little bit more, and people started sending me trumpets. Being a trumpet player, I naturally gravitated toward that. So I would do custom work on trumpets and replace a lead pipe or do some very special things to trumpets for players. And pretty soon I was making the whole thing. We make the horn for the player, not the player for the horn. That's kind of our philosophy on the thing, is to make it easier for the players to do what they want to do.
My teacher in graduate school steered me towards playing Blackburn trumpets. I said, yeah, but I can't afford a new trumpet. And he said, no, go. So he pushed me, and I met the Blackburns, and I played the instruments, and that's when I fell in love. The first thing that you notice right off the bat is just they feel better, they're easier to play. We can tailor that to the individual person. So if you're somebody who likes more resistance, we can make that happen. If you're somebody that likes less resistance, we can make that happen. So that's the first thing you notice. And then the sound is fantastic. And a lot of that is the bell alloy that we use, and we are still the only company that uses the ambrons for the bells. And then the next thing, the thing that really gets you, is just how well in tune they play with themselves. Because there's no instrument that's perfect, that plays perfectly in tune with itself from top to bottom, but these are the best I had ever played. So with all those factors, I had to have one. And that meant I had to come here and make my own, basically. My area of the production, I do all the lead pipes and tuning slides for the aftermarket production, so we make pipes and slides for many different brands of trumpets as well as our own. And for the Blackburn trumpets, I basically build the body. We make instruments that are terrific for anybody, whether you're a junior high student or a professional player. And we've done instruments for both.
Doc Severinsen had us make a horn for him at one time. The entire trumpet section of the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra. Back in the 90s, the United States Air Force Band in Washington, D.C. was playing all Blackburn trumpets. Most of our players are orchestra players, though, and they're not necessarily household names. I think I can safely say that just about every major orchestra in the world has something that we've made, whether it's a lead pipe for a piccolo trumpet or a complete trumpet, or whether the entire section is playing Blackburn trumpets. They're out there, but pretty much they've all got something that we've done. We've stayed small intentionally so we could give personal attention to those players.
Bells Bend Farms is located in the Scottsboro-Bells Bend area of northwest Davidson County. Some call the farm beyond organic simply because they grow their gardens without synthetic chemical fertilizers, pesticides, fungicides, herbicides, or inputs of any sort. This farm is only 15 minutes outside of Nashville and has the potential to provide Nashville with a large percentage of its food. WCTE takes us to Bells Bend Farms.
Nearly 10 years ago, developers bought a lot of land in Bells Bend, about a mile from here, with the plan to intensely develop it. And the community here came together, and we knew that we couldn't say no to any development happening in our area, but also that we didn't want to just say yes and allow anything that comes along to happen here, because we value the rural character of this area. So what the community here did is came up with what they call the third vision, and this is a third option to make it a place where people living in Nashville can come to get out of the city for a while, to enjoy wildlife and to enjoy good food, fresh air, clean water, and the things that a city really needs. So starting organic farms was one of the ideas that the community came up with as a way in which we can shift future development towards sustainable developments. The farm here started 7 years ago, and like now, the area that we're in, Bells Bend and Scottsboro, a small community in rural northwest Davidson County, has been under a lot of pressure from developers who want to turn what you see around you, this beautiful farmland, into more subdivisions, into corporate campuses, into more strip malls and parking lots. It's important to keep this area an agricultural community because the city of Nashville actually needs that. We're not going to be able to get all of our food in the future, no matter if it's 10 years or 50 years or 100 years down the road, from out west in our country or from other countries or from China or wherever. We need to start focusing on the resources we have here, and Nashville needs to view areas like this as an asset to the city. In Bells Bend alone, there used to be 8 dairies that supplied Nashville with much of its milk. There were countless vegetable operations, orchards supplying Nashville with its food. And that's because this is some of the most fertile farmland, not just in Tennessee or not just in Nashville, but in our region. We have unique soil types that are perfect for the type of farming that we're doing here, and that's why people settled here. A study was done by a nonprofit group in Nashville a few years ago that showed that just in Davidson County, we have enough farmland, enough fertile farmland to feed everybody in Nashville, which seems like a huge idea. The thing to that is that almost all that land is right here in the northwest corner of Davidson County, where you have the communities of Bells Bend and Scottsboro, Whites Creek, and Jolton just down the road here. That is our future. We have to keep this area the way that it is so we can utilize this land to feed the people in Nashville down the road. Our farms are not certified organic by the USDA, but we do follow the organic guidelines, and we actually go beyond that. We don't use any organic certified pesticides or herbicides, fungicides, anything. We try to view our farm as a closed system as much as we can. So we try to import as little as possible in the form of fertility and feed and other things. We do have a herd of cattle that provide manure, which we compost for a season or two, and that's what's applied to our field for fertility. And that's the way people have been doing it for a really, really long time, and it works really well. We don't irrigate here, so it especially helps in times of drought, because all of that extra organic matter and all of that soil biology that's thriving, that humus helps hold in soil moisture and keeps our plants growing, even when we've had 2 months, more than 2 months of dry weather here in the summer. We've had neighbors who at first thought that we were going to fall on our face, and I mean, I wasn't sure either there for the first couple years, but eventually they saw what we were doing. They could see that it was a good thing and closer to how they used to farm growing up, and that we could actually make a living doing it. And I think that's helped a lot of people in this community coming around to realize that it's a good thing, because they can see out their backyard that that pasture can actually stay a pasture, can become a vegetable field or an orchard or whatever, and actually be viable and actually make money instead of having to sell your land to a developer to make money, where you're essentially selling out your whole community, because no one wants to live in a place like that. And that's why people start selling their land like that. It just goes like that because nobody wants to live next to that. So it's unfortunate, but that's how sprawl happens. And we're really trying to make this the destination, that this is important to the people of Nashville, this is important to the people in this community, and it's worth keeping, because once it's gone, it's gone. I hope that our neighbors in Nashville who are watching this can appreciate the beauty and the importance of having a piece of country so close to town. I mean, we're about 10 to 15 minutes from most Nashville neighborhoods, and to have something this special so close, I just hope that people can see that that's an asset and can actually stick up for us and help us protect this area for our current generation, so we can start building these farms up and start feeding people in Nashville, for ourselves, for our parents and our children, and for the future generations, because we want our grandkids to be able to have access to the same thing. So why would we destroy it just for some short-term and short-sighted profit and gain?
Old School Farm is nestled within the heart of Bells Bend. It is a unique nonprofit dedicated to producing farm-to-table food. Old School Farm also produces jobs for individuals with intellectual disabilities. The farm was established in 2013 based on a belief that a farm should produce quality food and provide sustainable jobs.
Rowan Miller and I started Miller Rich back in 2008, and the primary mission of Miller Rich is to provide day and residential supports to adults that have intellectual disabilities. And we do all of that in a family model environment, so it's very similar to foster care. And then back in 2012, we were kind of looking around for building space because we had gotten so large that we didn't want to stay downtown Nashville anymore. So we kept looking around and we said, gosh, wouldn't it be neat if we could also have a farm and provide employment supports to adults that have intellectual disabilities as part of our mission as well.
We found this building, Wade Elementary School. It was originally one of the oldest metro schools in Davidson County, dating back to, I think, around the 1850s. This school in the present location was built in 1936, so it's quite a historic building in this neighborhood.
So when we walked in, it was full of graffiti. Every window in the place was busted out, but it came with this beautiful property of 9 acres. So the bones of the building were great. We didn't have to change the outside structure. We were able to save the original floors from 1936, so we were able just to sand them down, refinish them, and they turned out beautifully. One of the other things that we did to help make the building really sustainable is we put in the energy efficient windows all throughout the building in order to help keep the costs and everything down, because the last thing you want are really bad leaky windows. We also decided to make the leap and put in a geothermal heat and air conditioning system, so that way we could be way more energy efficient, and we wanted to run the space as greenly as we possibly could. And we spent a year renovating the entire property. And with always of that dream of, okay, as soon as we get the building done, we can go ahead and start a farm in the back, whose mission then would be to not only employ adults that have intellectual disabilities at a fair wage, but it's also a great place where we can provide educational opportunities to some of the inner city kids and kids that don't necessarily get to know where their food comes from. So we've been able to meet both of those missions with starting the farm.
So my name's Benjamin Brown. I'm one of the farm managers at Old School Farm here in Bells Bend, Nashville. And Old School Farm was founded in 2013 on the grounds of the old Wade School right here in Bells Bend, with the vision of employing adults with disabilities in a meaningful way and producing sustainable food. And we try to produce as much quality produce as we can, as well as employ as many individuals with disabilities as we can, and find a good balance of the two. So we try and use the property that we have in a way that's both sustainable and is growing both produce and the people that we employ.
The Old School Farm is a nonprofit project, so we rely a lot on people's donations as well as what we can produce. We always welcome any help people can give, whether that's coming out and volunteering and taking produce home, or donating monetarily is great, coming out to our farm dances. So we just really want people to be involved and help out. It's a really great cause. So, yeah.
Here at the farm we grow 100% organic, not certified, but all organic practices. And we grow over 40 different kinds of fruits and vegetables, totaling probably close to 100 varieties of different things, from peppers and eggplants to summer squash, cucumbers, lettuce, you name it. If it grows in Tennessee, we pretty much grow it here on the farm.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of amazing things going on out here, and I take a lot of pride in what we do. I mean, just the work that we do with adults with disabilities is one thing, but I mean, you know, we're teaching sustainable agriculture, and it's, you know, we're working with, you know, with local food. You know, we're being a part of the community. You know, we're inviting the community to come here and see what we're doing, and it's you know, it's just. When I've been here since the beginning, and to see how far the employees have come since that time, to see, you know, their confidence grow, and to see that sense of pride that they have in the work that they get to see growing out here every day, it's exceptional.
I think the Old School is becoming a great place for the local community people to come. As we're growing and we're hosting more and more events here, we have square dances once a month, we often have benefit events, we have farm-to-table dinners, all trying to bring people from the community to the school, both to see what we're doing and just to enjoy getting out away from the city, living a little bit in the farm country for just a short amount of time.
People are really attracted, I think, to the farm life. It's something that everybody wants to do, but they don't really realize how much work goes into it every single day. The idea of growing your own vegetables appeals to a lot of people, but it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort. So what I've mostly seen is, from the guys that I work with, is, you know, they get out here and they're busting their tails every day in the heat. And it's, you know, the ones that have been here the longest, they understand it now. They know that they're going to have literal fruits from their labor. It's just going to take some time. The ones that are starting off new, they're out there weeding every day, they're hoeing, you know, they're planting those tiny little seeds, and they don't really see the end game yet. So once somebody's been here for about 6 months and they've seen the process from the beginning to the end, and they start to understand it, it's a really cool experience.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Live Green Tennessee, where we take you all across the state into the farms and businesses of those who are making the move to eating fresh, living sustainably, and helping us all be more organic in our thinking and the way we live our lives as Tennesseans. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Live Green Tennessee.
If you would like more information about Live Green Tennessee, please visit our website at livegreentv.org, where you can find everything from healthy recipes to past episodes and more.
Pick Tennessee helps you find local farms and farmers markets, plus offers tips for choosing, using, and storing the fresh foods you buy. The Pick Tennessee mobile app is available now on iTunes and Google Play.
Radon gas is a naturally occurring radioactive gas found in rock and soil and can seep into your home through basements or cellars. It's odorless, invisible, and without taste, and can damage lung tissue and cause the beginning of lung cancer, making it the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States. It is important to ensure your home is safe with a free radon test kit. The Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation can help you learn more about this dangerous gas and make your home a safer place.
This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.